Hi YouTube friends, welcome. Join me because today we are going to be making this peace symbol which is tied using snake knots. So we are going to use our two long pieces of paracord, and the first thing we want to do is measure out 60 centimeters from the end, which is around about 24 inches. So just pinch it off of that spot, and then we want to start tying our snake knots. So to tie the snake knot, we will start here with our left hand strand and come in over the right and then behind, forming a loop. I'm just going to pinch that off there. I'm going to take this right strand around the back and then down through that loop. So I'll take it around the back. I'm just going to take a bite and then tuck that down through that loop there. And now we just need to pull that all the way through. So that's our first snake knot. Tighten it up, and then we just need to keep tying snake knots. So we'll do another one. Take the left over the right and then around the back, forming a loop. And then next I want to take this strand around the back and then back down through that loop. So around this side, then back down through the loop. And we can pull that through and tighten that snake knot up. When we tighten it up, we just want to tighten it hard against our previous snake knot. And I'll show you one more. We'll take the left strand over the right and then behind. Then that strand comes up behind and then take it down through that loop. Pull it through. Again, tighten it up. And then we just need to keep tying these snake knots down, and we want to tie a total of 37 snake knots. So keep tying until you get to 37. So once you have tied your 37 snake knots, what you want to do is just curl it back on itself to make a circle, and then separate the two top strands and the two bottom strands. So you should end up like that. Now you just want to take these two bottom strands and again tie a snake knot. So going to come in underneath and take the other strand around and through that loop. And then when you tighten this snake knot up, you just want to tighten it all the way so that these two ends come together. And get these two ends together as much as possible. So once you've tied that first snake knot, you just want to continue by tying another 4. So that'll be 5 in total. So just continue tying these snake knots down here until you get to 5. Once you have tied your 5 snake knots, you just want to grab your shorter piece of paracord and attach it to your lacing needle, and then we are going to count 19 knots down here, and that should be directly opposite to these 5 snake knots there. And once you get to that one, just thread through with your lacing needle, and then you can take your lacing needle off again. Now if I flip this thing around and get rid of all these cords here, these are the 2 cords that have just laced through this snake knot up here. You just want to tie another 5 snake knots using these 2 cords. Okay, I've tied another 5 snake knots here, and now we just need to push these 2 together like that, and you should get 2 cords coming out the top and 2 cords coming out of the bottom. And now again, tie 5 snake knots here, and then tie 5 snake knots here up the top, and then we can finish this thing off. So I've done my 5 snake knots over this side and 5 snake knots over that side, and now we just need to make this into our peace symbol. So I'm going to start here on the left side, and I have already laced my needle on the lower cord, and I just want to count 6 knots up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then lace this thread through, and you want to go through at least 3 and preferably 4 of these snake knots. So just work your needle through 4 of them if you can. It's a little bit of a process threading your needle through these knots, but I've got mine through 4 of these now, and it's just a matter of pulling this all the way through. So this one is through now. It's just a matter of taking this needle off and attaching it to this cord here, and then counting up 6 knots here. We want to thread that back through that way, and then these top strands will thread in the opposite direction through those snake knots. So everything is laced through now, and we need to cut and singe these 4 ends. So to do that, I just like to pull them tight just so the snake knots bunch up, and then cut it close to the end, leaving about 2 millimeters or so, and then taking the lighter, singeing the end, and then pressing it flat. And then you can pull it out again a little bit and spread these snake knots out, and repeat that process for the other 3 bits. Okay, all these stray pieces have been cut off now, and we just need to deal with the top here. And first of all, I'm going to tie a square knot. So I'm taking the left over the right just to form a simple knot. Tighten that down, and then I'm going to take right over left, around, and then tighten that down too. So that's a simple square knot. Tighten down here at the top, and then we can also tie this up here into a loop, and the simplest way is just to tie an overhand, form a loop, and then tuck the ends through the loop to form an overhand knot. And of course you can tie something more ornamental like the diamond knot up here too, and then that should be your finished piece. If you like this kind of thing, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because here we talk about both decorative and functional knots. Thanks for watching. I like you all, and I will see you on the next video.